fake Brexit, where we don't have control of our trade and defence arrangements, where we don't take back our fishing waters, and where we are not, in fact, independent. The Tories never had any intention of honouring that referendum result. They have always regarded Brexit as a problem to be neutralised. For 3.5 years, they've purposely negotiated in bad faith to keep us tied as closely as possible to the European Union, to make it easier for future governments to take us back in by stealth and political chicanery, the same way they took us in the first time. They had a majority right after the referendum, and they could have delivered Brexit there and then, but they chose to engage in these drawn-out negotiations for the express purpose of wearing us down so that we'll settle for anything to make it stop, which is pretty much where we are now. They installed a leader who they knew had absolutely no intention of delivering independence, and who negotiated a withdrawal agreement that would have been worse than staying in. And even after she squandered a parliamentary majority and lost the confidence of the country, they had 2 opportunities to get rid of her, yet both times they chose to keep her in place, knowing she had no intention of delivering independence until, that is, she became such an embarrassment even to the Tory party that they had to get rid of her. And now Boris Johnson has taken up where she left off, and he's peddling her fake Brexit with a lick of paint like a crooked used car salesman. If we're gullible enough to give the Tories a majority in this election, they intend to wear us down with years of further negotiation until we just don't care anymore and Brexit is dead. The only way we'll get the independence we voted for more than 3 years ago is if the Brexit Party holds the balance of power after this election, and that will only happen if we vote for Brexit Party candidates, those of us who can. And this is where it gets interesting, because although the Tories have at least gone through the motions of pretending to try and deliver Brexit, the wretched Labour Party hasn't even done that. Instead, they have brazenly reneged on their core promise to respect the result of the biggest democratic vote in our history, and they have given a middle finger to the millions of people who elected Labour MPs on the back of that promise. It's as if they want to leave their traditional working class base in no doubt as to how much contempt the modern Labour Party has for them and for the things they believe in. But then working class people don't vote Labour anymore, not if they're paying attention. They know this is not the same Labour Party their parents and grandparents voted for. That Labour Party is gone, and I speak as a former card-carrying member of it. Labour is now the party of the progressive multicultural crowd, the PC metropolitan bourgeoisie, the patronising guardianista class who think they know best for everyone, the comfortable pension and mortgage-owning anti-capitalist community who love immigration because immigrants will clean their house and look after their kids for a pittance but won't actually live anywhere near them. The kind of people who publicly mock a house with a St. George's flag on the window and a white van in the yard as if it's something to be ashamed of. If you're a working class person who still votes Labour, you're voting for people who despise you. They laugh at you. They think your views and your values are crude, ignorant, and shallow, and they don't want your opinion about anything, you racist. They just want your vote. Well, now is your chance to give it to them, right where they don't want it. Because this election, more than any other, will be won or lost by the working class voter. I'm talking about people who usually vote Labour in constituencies where they usually elect a Labour MP, because these are the only places where the Brexit Party is standing. So the voters in these constituencies are the people who will decide whether or not we leave the European Union. You people have all the power in this election. It doesn't matter how they vote in the shires. You are the only people who've been given the opportunity to insist that democracy is respected and that the result of the most important democratic vote in this country's history is delivered, whether politicians like it or not. It's entirely in your hands. If you elect enough Brexit Party MPs and ditch Labour with their plan for a rigged second referendum that would destroy democracy in this country, then the Tories will have to deliver what they have never intended to deliver: full national sovereign independence from all European Union institutions, jurisdiction and control. That is Brexit. If you voted for Brexit, if you want Brexit, it's right there for you on a plate. All you have to do is take it.
Borodar from Wales. Barry, I got a question for you. You know, as a Labour supporter and a Labour voter for all of my life, for you to turn around to me and tell me you're going to get me back into the Labour Party by offering me a referendum on a choice between Remain Light and Remain. How stupid do you take us for? You take us for utter idiots, don't you, Barry?
Well, borrowed out to you too. But look, what we're looking at is...
You're going against the vote that we voted for Barry.
No.
Come out and say it.
You remember what was on that ballot paper? It was whether we
leave
should...
or remain.
Exactly.
Quite simple, Barry.
And what it didn't say is how we would leave. And what we've been struggling over the past 3 years, and what the Conservatives have been unable even to agree amongst themselves, so much so that they've thrown 21 of their own people out of the party, right? Is how we should leave. So. How we should leave. Now, some people want to leave in the most right-wing way possible.
It's not right-wing.
Well, it's
just
leaving.
You're telling
me I'm right-wing, Barry? Are you telling me I'm right-wing?
No.
I voted Labour all my life. And I'm a right-wing person. This is why we in South Wales are going to give you a massive wake-up call on December the 12th. You are going to realise South Wales is like Scotland. You've took us for granted and you take us for fools.
Well,
when I was first elected to the European Parliament in 1999, we were told the EU was the future. But I could see how this undemocratic institution would damage our country. I've witnessed EU rules impact everything, from our northern industries to our fishing and coastal communities. I've been fighting ever since to get us out and make the UK an independent, self-governing nation.
Membership of the EU is bad for British business. Our interests are best served by not being a member of this club.
In the 2015 election, the Tories told my previous party to stand down, fearful we'd split the vote and let Labour in. We actually took more votes from Labour, forcing the Conservatives to hold the referendum. 17.4 million people voted to leave, the largest democratic mandate in British history. We thought we'd won.
Isn't it funny? When I came here 17 years ago and I said that I wanted to leave the European Union, you all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
But Parliament still blocks Brexit. That's why I launched the Brexit Party in April. Within 6 weeks, we'd won the European elections everywhere in England and Wales outside of London. We won more votes than Labour and the Tories combined. But as the political elites continue to betray Brexit, we continue to fight. In this election, there are around 130 seats the Conservatives haven't won in 50 years and will not win this time. We can. 5 million Labour voters voted to leave. They have been betrayed by Corbyn's Labour, who want a second referendum. These are voters in regions desperate for regeneration, for investment, for jobs, for infrastructure. Our 200 billion Brexit dividend will help solve these problems. You have two choices. Do you want a Brexit MP who honours the referendum, or a Remainer who wants to cancel the result? Only Brexit Party MPs can hold the Conservatives to account and get a real Brexit done. This is your one chance to change politics for good.
Leavers, don't waste your vote.
And all these kids going on strike, whining in the streets about the world coming to an end. A conclusion based on classroom propaganda and gob-smacking ignorance, which prompted this piece that someone sent to me. I thought I'd share it with you. It's called Growing Up. Few commentaries on this global warming hoax have had greater relevance than this. I think I might send it to Al Gore. And it says this: to all the school kids going on strike for climate change, you're the first generation who've required air conditioning in every classroom. You want TV in every room, and your classes are all computerised. You spend all day and night on electronic devices. More than ever, you don't walk or ride bikes to school, but you arrive in caravans of private cars that choke suburban roads and worsen rush hour traffic. You're the biggest consumers of manufactured goods ever, and update perfectly good, expensive luxury items to stay trendy. Your entertainment comes from electric devices. Furthermore, the people driving your protests are the same people who insist on artificially inflating the population growth through immigration, which increases the need for energy, manufacturing and transport. The more people we have, the more forest and bushland we clear, the more of the environment that's destroyed. How about this? Tell your teachers to switch off the aircon, walk or ride to school, switch off your devices and read a book, make a sandwich instead of buying manufactured fast food. No, none of this will happen because, the piece says, you're selfish, badly educated, virtue-signalling little turds inspired by the adults around you who crave a feeling of having a noble cause while they indulge themselves in Western luxury and unprecedented quality of life. The piece ends by saying, wake up, grow up and shut up until you're sure of the facts before protesting.